back, subscribers, and hello YouTube viewers. On this occasion we're off to the John Darling and Son flour mill that's situated in Albion in Victoria, and it's not all that far away, about 30 minutes from the CBD of Melbourne. So the building we're about to see is abandoned, and when I mean abandoned, it's had no use. Probably in the last 30 years there's been no one actually there, and the building is heritage listed. So for a developer, I think the only thing you can do with it is somehow convert it into a residential sort of estate. So we'll have a look. There's a fair bit of history behind it, and as per usual I'll leave a links to all the voiceover factual sort of information that I do find, but we'll start off with the actual history. So John Darling and Son was an Australian wheat merchant and flour milling company, initially founded in Adelaide, South Australia, and for many years the largest in Australia. John Darling Senior and Junior were known as the Grain King to many. The John Darling and Son flour mill in Albion is historically significant in being representative of the development of the flour industry in Victoria. The mill is architecturally significant because of the unusual T-shaped plan, reflects the division of the milling process. The wheat cleaning and packing operations taking place in the short section of the T, and the milling itself taking part in the long section of the T. Now I will continue on with a bit more history during the drone when it goes up, so please enjoy these final few images of the John Darling and Sons mill. So we have arrived at the John Darling's and Son flour mill. We'll have a look around. I've already had the drone up, so there's no issues about the drone going up. Hope you enjoyed the little bit of history about the place, and it's just something that I drive past from time to time, and I was always curious what sort of history was behind this actual building. I'm not sure if it's heritage listed, but if I do find out, I'll make mention of it when I do the voiceover. So I'll spin the camera around and let's have a look and see what we can see. So this must be like a checkpoint for security. There's the building itself, and the silos are right next door. We'll have a bit of a look-see. The area is covered by CCTV cameras, or so the signs say. It's like a little portable, this thing. Very good. So it looks like it was some sort of weighing, maybe bridge, but yeah, it is a weighing thing. As you can see, that deck right there is something that would have been weighed. So as a truck would come in to unload its grain, it could be weighed, and whatever money goes their way, goes their way. Now I can tell you that on this side of the building, there's not much graffiti. Not as much as the other side. This side's sort of protected because you've got all the residents directly opposite, whereas on the other side it is just a railway station with not too much passing traffic or pedestrian traffic to keep an eye on the building. It is one heck of a building, very, very tall. It would have really stood out in the skyline of Albion back in the day. Even now it still stands out. She is a beauty. This is just another angle of the building. Not sure what you could do with it. It is a huge bit of property, but as you can see, it's structurally really sound. Yeah, the windows are broken. If that could be replaced, yeah, there's graffiti that can be painted over or steam pressured off. Then you got this outbuilding here. This looks relatively new. I think you might even be able to rent these parts out. There is a sign here saying the flour mill with a number, so that's quite interesting. But we'll just come through here, and as you can see, yeah, all the windows
have been broken. Well, not all of them, a good percentage. Someone's obviously made it inside and gone upstairs. And as you can see just on the ground here, it has been swept up. Looks like they've been smashed from the inside out. Now just across in the distance is the Albion railway station. And it's this side that seems to be affected most by graffiti and vandals. There is some sort of a carriage out this way. We'll have a look at it just straight ahead. And let's see what all that's about. You can see the railway tracks. So once the grain came from the farmers via trucks, I guess, they would be brought here and put on trains and taken wherever they need to be taken. Not sure what this actually is. Some sort of mechanical train thing. It had its own power. Which is that. See that? And protection must be worn at all times. And there you have it. Very good. So as you can see, there is platforms here, but they've long gone being operational in any which way. Once again, we're at the silos. Now there is a trend for some of these silos to be converted into residential housing. I've seen them in Richmond, which is a suburb of Melbourne in Victoria, and I'm just wondering, could the same be done here? It really would have a commanding view all the way to the Melbourne skyline. These silos are huge when you stand quite close. If you're driving past, they do look big, but when you're up against them, they're extremely big. This is just another angle of the grain silos and the massive size. They are huge. I'm probably repeating myself a few times, but yeah, I just didn't expect them to be this big when you come up close. I do like the walkway from the silo to what appears to be the factory itself, where they do the processing, I guess. Well, ravens have made their home here. Some sort of space here for something. Not sure what this is for. Maybe an engine room of some sort. It is well boarded up. It's terrific. Whoever's doing the security here to prevent vandals and graffitists to come in, I think they've improved quite well. What a great place to explore. Once again, there's no sign saying don't enter or anything like that. There are businesses next door that are open, This is pretty much a bit of a dead end. So access can be made to this location. There's a huge gate that's open. I believe there's a culinary school right next door. So if you have any interest in becoming a chef or a cook or a barista or something like that, this is one of the locations that you could come out in the western suburbs. I'll just show you the culinary school here. It's just here. I know it's called the Australian Business and Culinary Institute, and they operate from this location.
Now, continuing on with the history, the red brick mill building with its tower, signature parapets, cornice and distinctive gable ends is perhaps the most elaborate brick mill of the early 20th century in Victoria. It's substantially intact and in very good condition. The mill has had a strong association with the Darling family, a family who had a considerable influence on the flour milling industry, not only in Victoria but also in other states of Australia. The mill is historically important also because it contains machinery which provides evidence of a material cultural kind, documenting the development of the flour milling process for over the last 80 to 90 years. The store and amenities building, which was built in 1926, the office and laboratory, which was built in 1950, then updated in 1971, and then again in 1973. The former workshops that were built in the 1960s and updated in 1981. The maintenance depot, which was built in 1981, and other buildings and structures on the site are important buildings associated with the mill itself, contributing to an understanding of the flour milling process. However, whilst they form contributory elements within the John Darling and Son flour mill complex, individually they are not of an architectural or historic significance in themselves, which you'll see around the building. Like at the moment, if you look, you can see the corrugated part to the right of the main red brick structure that's been put on after. So there are a few other buildings around the property, and they are actually being rented out. Not all of them, but some of them are. And you would have seen earlier where one of the places is being used as a culinary sort of institute. Now, as mentioned, the industrial complex includes a T-shaped red brick mill, a timber and iron storehouse, rail sidings, loading platform and canopy, which was built in 1926-27. The reinforced concrete silo blocks, which were built in the 1930s. 1939 is what I've researched, and also in 1973. The site was established in the 1920s and ceased mill operations in the 1990s. So that's about it with the brief history that I've been able to discover about this location. So please enjoy the remaining aerial views. Now, just for a quick apology, look, I know I'm never going to make it onto some sort of women's magazines, and I do apologise for my unsightly look of not having a shave today. I got out of bed thinking it was okay until I realised and watched this video and thought, oh, I could have done with a shave. But anyway, it is what it is, so I do apologise for my appearance.
So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this spur of the moment sort of video. Hope I've been able to express through the voiceover the bit of history of this place. If you did like the video, by all means click on the like button or that thumbs up icon. Please consider subscribing. Subscribing doesn't cost you 1 cent and it really does help the channel immensely. But once again, most importantly, stay safe, commute safe and have a great day. And thanks for watching.